call this meeting to order on January 24th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. First up, Mike, you want to do the pledge, please?
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, Jimmy, you want to do the prayer?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Our Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening, and we again thank you for this little town we work in. We thank you for the many blessings that you bestowed on the workers' families here and the town itself. Just be with us throughout the evening and leading guidance in the way that would please thee. We ask that you give these council members a clear mind, that they can make the decisions that properly need to be made. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Okay, next, Sandy, you want to do the roll call, please?
Yes. Pamela Samples,
Here.
William Ellis,
Here.
Scott Oldham, Trevor Sager, Dan Swafford,
Here.
Okay, next on the agenda is approval of the minutes for the regular meeting, January 24th, 2021. They have a
So
motion.
moved. Make a motion to approve. Second.
Hey, Sandy, whenever you're ready.
Pamela Samples,
Yes.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Dan Swafford,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, next we have the action to pay accounts payable, vouchers, and payroll. We have a motion.
So moved. Second.
Hey, Sandy, whenever.
Pamela Samples,
Yes.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Dan Swafford,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, the next we have is the Park and Recreation Board. We need a Democrat appointed by council vote. Does anybody know of anybody that wants to be on it?
Darla, did you get time to just look at Ron Van Devender would like to be on it, but he's on the BZA, and at the last meeting you were unsure if he could do both.
I'm not unsure. He cannot do both. He
Okay.
can't. I'm sorry. If I didn't make that clear, I'm sorry. But when you serve on the BZA, it's considered an office, and you can't hold any other offices, and that includes appointments to boards. Office is defined broadly. So yeah, he cannot. I'm sorry.
And I have no other candidates that have come forward to my office.
Okay, so we just leave it blank right now, or?
I would just table it or just put it on the agenda for the next meeting.
Okay,
Listen, would the council like me to reach out to, I don't know who the new Democratic chairperson is, but I could reach out and let them know there's an appointment?
I'm fine with it if you want to. I don't care.
now, Darla, did you say if there's no Democrats that want to be on it, though, we can put a Republican?
If the council formally waives that requirement, but the council will have to make a finding that they have made an effort to find someone of the appropriate political affiliation, and they just couldn't do it. But at a public meeting, yes, you have to waive the political affiliation requirement and then appoint somebody.
Okay,
Yes, Bill, I would like, Bill said he might reach out.
Yes. And I think doing that, hopefully, I mean, morally, it will fulfill, I could honestly say if nothing comes back after that, we've done what we can. If we go to the head Democrat in the county and they can't find someone, well, then we have to talk about, appointing somebody else. But
Yeah, I'd like this, let's just make sure they talk to us before they get in too far. We want to make sure they know what they're in for, so.
absolutely, I'll refer them to you.
Thank you.
okay, so William, you want to make a motion to table it till next meeting? Give you time to check?
Yep, I'll make a motion to table this till our next meeting.
Second.
Hey, Sandy?
Pamela Samples,
Yes.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
Dan Swafford,
Yes.
motion carries.
Now,
I
Darla, just
do,
another question on this. Mike Corman has expressed somewhat of an interest. Is that going to be a problem with him?
I don't know. I'd have to look at that.
Okay, I'll get with you on that. Thank you.
Okay, next thing is the Monroe Council Animal Management Commission, appointed by council vote. Ellettsville is a voting member and the term expires 2023. Do we have anybody that knows anybody that wants to do that?
Who was on that board?
I don't know. I don't have the name.
Zach Michael served on that board and he just became too busy to serve. I think David Drake served before Zach.
has anyone expressed interest in it to you, Sandy?
No, I mean, I've not actually spread the word very well, but no, I've not had any response.
Can that be a council member? Was David a council member when he was on it?
No, I don't think so, but
I
Darla,
think Diane did it whenever she was on council, Dan.
That's what I thought.
I think so. I think that's okay if a council member does it.
right now they're doing their meetings by Zoom. I asked when they met, and I think it's the first Monday of the month. And if they're not meeting by Zoom, then they meet by down at the animal shelter on South Walnut.
Is there a council member interested?
I'll tell you, I'd be interested because I'm not really on any of these boards like that. But I'd like to give another meeting for the public to know it's available before I would take that. So my wish would be table it this week, but then next meeting, if we have no takers, then I'll happily do it if there's no objections.
Is that a
Okay.
motion, William?
Yes, I'll take a motion to table it till next week or next
Second.
meeting.
I'll second it.
Okay, Sandy, whenever you're ready.
Pamela Samples,
Yes.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
Dan Swafford,
Yes.
motion carries. And I want to apologize, that should be Monroe County Animal Management.
Okay, next we have open bids for the Community Crossings Grant Road resurfacing.
And this is normally Darla's job, but she said she would let me open them this time to avoid bringing them to her today. So we have 2 packets from Milestone and 2 packets from E&B Paving. Kip, are these bids like each packet is one bid, so the whole bid's on the front page, or do I need to go through these?
Well, one packet is going to be a sealed bid for the resurfacing of streets. The other packet from each company is going to be a quote for a culvert replacement.
Okay, then I would say this larger one says community crossing grant for various roads.
Yes,
Okay, that total sum is $252,790.60. And then, okay, this one's labeled culvert replacement. And it's for $27,500. And that too was Milestone. Then for various roads, the bid from E&B paving is for $214,650.05. And the culvert replacement for E&B is for $16,750. And that's all the bids.
And we're just taking them under advisement this evening. We'll look over them and then we'll award at
Yes.
the next council meeting.
We should have a motion to take them under advisement so that the street department and Denise and/or Kevin can look at them and determine if they meet with all the specs and all the requirements necessary for the grant.
I'd make a
Okay.
motion to table for those exact reasons.
I'll second.
Okay, Sandy, whenever.
Pamela Samples,
Yes.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
and Dan Swafford.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I'd just like to take the time real quick to thank the two companies that placed quotes and bids at this time. I think a couple of the guys are on here as well tonight. So I just want to reach out and tell them all thank you for doing that.
Okay, next on the agenda is Resolution 01-2022, cancellation of warrants, owed outstanding checks.
And this is standard procedure every January. We are, by statute, should write off checks that have been unpaid for over 2 years. The total is $72.17, and it's 6 checks. They're all from the water department.
Okay, does any council have any comments?
No comments. I was gonna make a motion.
Okay, anybody else first? Okay, go ahead, William.
I'll make a motion to, how do we phrase it? Say it can't, motion, resolution 01-2022, cancellation of warrants. To approve that?
Second.
Okay, Sandy?
Pamela Samples,
Yes.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
Dan Swafford.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, there are no ordinance on the first reading, no ordinance on the second reading. There's no old business. Mike, do you have a flood report?
I do not.
Okay, and Dan, do you have a Envision Ellettsville update?
Yes, I do. The steering committee and Ron Taylor from the Taylor Group gave an Envision Ellettsville update presentation to the town council last week at a work session. And we want to thank the town council for being so generous with their time and allowing us to have so much time. Almost the entire work session was dedicated to that presentation. A survey has been sent out or is being sent out to the council members asking for their responses to the visioning items. We're on track for the final plan draft to be presented Tuesday, February 15th at 11 a.m. For the final plan. And the community release will be sometime in March. As an aside, there was a very nice front page article in the Herald Times newspaper about Ellettsville Parks and Trails with a lot of input from Mike Farmer. I interviewed Mike Farmer. It's a very, very good article. They had another mention of Envision Ellettsville in that article. And this, I believe, is at least the third article in HT about Ellettsville and in Envision Ellettsville. So thank you again to the council for your time, and thank you for all your support.
You're welcome. Okay, we have no new business. And the next is privilege of the floor for the public. Does anybody have anything they want to say that we've not talked about? Okay, seeing none. Next, we have supervisors' comments.
I actually have something, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
At the town council's November 22nd meeting, just last fall, it discussed the community crossing matching grant that the town council, these are the bids that Sandy just opened, and the council voted to authorize the town council president to sign the grant. And so I think with the holidays and some other issues, that didn't get done. And it's my understanding that the information was sent to Scott encrypted or something along those lines, and it wasn't able to be opened. So the grant people have asked the town to make have another vote authorizing the new town council president, Pam Samples, to sign the agreement, and then we're good. So if I know it's not on the agenda, but I'm just asking the town, and this just came up today, by the way. So I'm just asking the town council to vote again to authorize the town council president to sign the community crossing matching grant agreement for the street paving of the 7 streets and for the culvert repair on Reeves Road. So if we could have that vote, I would appreciate it.
I'll make a motion to allow the town council president to sign.
Second.
Okay, Sandy?
Who was the second, please?
I was.
Thank you. Pam Samples,
Abstain.
abstain?
Yeah, I'm not gonna vote for myself to do something.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
Dan Swafford,
Yes.
motion carried.
Hey Pam, just so you know, don't open the first email. Wait until you get the second email from them, and it's sometimes 2 or 3 days later. That's got the code to actually open the first email, because if you open the first one, it negates the whole thing and the code does you no good.
Okay, thanks for telling me that.
They should have come in sequence, but they don't. So
Okay, that's nice. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, more supervisors, anybody?
Yes, I have something not on the agenda I'd like the board to consider. We had a employee resign in the utilities department, works for Department of Public Works and the Utilities Division. And we need to fill that position. We've interviewed an employee or former employee. He worked for us last year for about 7 months, took another job to get benefits, and he's interested in coming back. He's local. And he left on good terms, and we'd like to have him come back to work for us. And we know he's educated. He graduated from Edgewood High School. So anyway, his name is Logan Slayball. And we want to, the position that's empty is a labor 1, but we want to hire him as a labor 2 now until he gets a CDL. His starting pay will be $18.50 an hour. And I'd like the board's permission to hire him.
Hey, does council have any comments? Okay, does anybody have a motion?
I'd move we hire Logan Slayball to fill the laborer 1 slot, but as a laborer 2 until Mike deems it appropriate to move him forward.
I'll second it. Okay, Sandy?
Pamela Samples,
Yes.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
Dan Swafford,
Yes.
motion carries.
I
Okay.
also have another item to talk about. There's been some talk that it might be more beneficial to have the next work session after a board meeting. That way it does not tie up 2 different nights, and we can just continue after the regular board meeting and have a work session. So what's the board think about that? I know a couple of board members were interested in it.
Personally, I see that's the best way to do it because it is easier to schedule that way.
I
So
have no
Scott,
preference.
Scott, do you want to set a time on it? You have a time hour or?
Well, I mean, again, I think, we were 90 minutes the first time, but that was with the presentation. So I would say that we probably set this in an hour unless Mike has something on to discuss that's greater than that he needs more time.
Yeah, hour sounds good to me. And then, of course, if I think it's going to run over, then I'd notify the board ahead of time. And I assume if we ask for it to be an hour, we can run over. Is that correct, Darla?
You're on mute, Darla.
Yeah, I think what you do is you put in the notice that the meeting will continue until it's completed or words of that nature, and I can help somebody draft it so that it sounds better than that. But just as a way of letting the public to know, it'll go on until it's finished, so.
Okay, great. Well, then, is everybody good with the 14th?
I am.
I am.
Okay, well, then I propose that we
I'm
have a
okay.
work session. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm okay, but everybody keep in mind, it's Valentine's Day, so nobody better at the last minute say, uh-oh, we forgot. I'm reminding you.
And it's my birthday too, so chances are I probably won't be here.
Well, do we care if it's on the 28th instead? To try to have everyone there?
Probably a good idea to have everybody there. I think everybody should be involved since we're talking about stuff we are for the town. What do you think, Scott?
I agree that I think everyone should be there. I just don't want to let this continue into March. I think we definitely need to, this was kind of my criticism before. We just keep putting it off and putting it off. We've got to have a firm date.
Well, do you want to set it for the end of February, the last meeting? And then we'll go no further. It's going to definitely be then. The second meeting in February.
That works for me.
I'm good
okay
with it.
either.
That okay, Scott?
I'm good, completely, yes.
Okay. All right, do we have a motion to set it for then, or do we have to?
Darla, do we need to make a motion to set it for then? I'll make a motion to have for the work session immediately following the February 28th county council session with a small break in between.
Town council. Did you say town or county?
I think I said county. I'm promoting
Yeah.
ourselves. Town council.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, Sandy, when you're ready.
Pamela Samples,
Yes.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
Dan Swafford.
Yes.
Thank you. I'll be sending emails to the board to elicit some comments on what they think the content of the work session shall be. We have several different items that we need to discuss sooner than later, so I'll send it out. We'll decide which of the 4 or 5 items we really need to talk about soon. Thanks.
Okay. Next, we have council comments.
Madam President,
Jimmy?
can you hear me? My screen is frozen. I want to make sure you hear me. I want to let you know, kind of give you a heads up, but our video equipment, our in-car cameras, and our body cameras we've just about wrung everything out of them we can. Some of our equipment is 10 years old. The body cameras are almost 6 years old now. So it's at the point where we have to upgrade these older units or move on to the new technology. And you can imagine, having seen what we have now and what we've seen, what we could have, that technology has moved right along. I have a proposal, but I don't want to get it out to you yet until I've consulted with a couple other departments that are using the same system that we want to present to you. But I'm meeting with Town Manager Mike Farmer Wednesday, and hopefully get a little more direction from him. So my screen just went out. Can you still hear me? That's why we'll give you a heads up on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If I can
Okay.
interject real quick on Jimmy's behalf there.
Yeah, go
That's
ahead.
not something that really, I mean, he's going to bring forward several proposals. I don't know what he's exactly bringing forward. But that's a very complicated field, and it is not cheap, but it has, quite frankly, huge dividends to the city and the county for investing in the technology, because it's definitely kept liability in the floor as compared to other things. So it's something I would hope that you all take a very close look at. And while it will be expensive, there's no two ways about it. In the end, it will be more than worth it.
It's an officer safety issue too, as Scott well knows. We're getting to the point where we have to be better covered with our officers that are working, especially the evening officers and the midnight officers.
Okay, thank you. Kevin or Kip, do you have anything?
I have nothing.
I don't have anything either.
Okay. So we'll move on to council comments. Does any council have anything they want to say, talk about? Okay, does anybody want to make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Hey, Sandy?
Pamela Samples,
Yes.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
Dan Swafford.
Yes.
Motion carries, meeting adjourned at 6:59.